Everyone, welcome to episode 10 of Above the Fold. As always, you got Jeff, the data dude, and Francis, the creative force, here to talk to you about everything regarding content marketing, our hopes and dreams, our complaints, about everything within the industry. And this episode is a special one for Jeff and I. It is number 10. We have hit the double-digit realm. Very exciting. If I'm being honest, this started as whatever. We didn't know what was going on. Maybe it would last one episode. Maybe it would last for 3. I think the fact that we're at 10 is a positive and successful thing. Jeff Baker, your thoughts?
I've actually got more than, I think we guessed it was going to be our moms, the only people listening. I've got a confirmed 4 on my side.
Confirmed 4.
No, regular
Quattro.
listeners.
Wow.
A big 4. Yeah. So you know what?
Wait a minute.
Already exceeded expectations by double. So I'm good.
Two of them are probably you and I, though, right? Because I know I do. I listened to the episode on Spotify afterwards. So I'm probably one of them, right?
Well, yeah, we are subscribers, so we count. So yeah, that is one.
Anyway, we hit 10. It's a positive thing. You know what? Honestly, let's spend a quick second on this. From episode 1 to where we are now. Jeff, what were your hopes? What were your thoughts on this from the beginning to where we are now? How do you feel about it now?
Well, at first I thought that we would do a lot of ranting and just talking about the stuff that we're constantly running into that's broken in the industry. And then we'd come up with solutions for people. So this would be like informative first, and we try to keep it somewhat entertaining.
So you thought we'd be more helpful than we have.
That's kind of fair. However, at the same time, like, how many people are sitting down and listening to a podcast and taking notes?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't do that. I'm listening to podcasts when I'm driving. I'm listening to it when I'm, taking a hike, going for a run. So for the most part, I'm listening for entertainment. And then if something piques my interest enough, maybe I'll go back and re-listen to it and take notes on it. So with that said, I have no idea how we're doing. We're getting listens.
Well, you mentioned we are. You're right, and you mentioned this during the I think the last show about when we were talking about the conference you were at. That audio is still kind of on its way. It's on its way up. More people are getting involved with audio, and it is kind of like being inside someone's mind. You mentioned people don't take notes. I think that's true because they don't have to. The idea being that if you're inside their mind, inception could happen right there. And more often than not, when something happens in a podcast and it really piques my interest, or I remember it, it's something I remember, and I walk away with whatever I was doing, and I remember whatever I heard on that podcast. I think that makes it, quite strong and engaging. I just think a lot of people, us included, are still trying to figure out its power.
Yeah, I think if the hosts are strong enough, us not included, obviously, people can feel some sort of connection with them. And take for me, for example, when all my friends are busy on a Saturday, which seems to be just about every Saturday now that I think about it, it's odd. And I got nowhere to go. I'll go for a hike, and you'll have somebody's voice in your ear that sounds familiar. It's like a very comforting kind of familiarity. I think it's a more of a personal type of media that people can identify with. Especially when they're lonely hiking around because their friends are busy.
I said I was sorry. I have kids, and I'm half a
the kids'
whole
excuse.
Country away from you.
Everyone loves the kids' excuse.
Come on.
Yeah. Right.
I can't leave them with Alexa at all times.
You sent pictures.
As you would kind of assume that I want to.
Yeah, you do want to. You sent me pictures from Fenway. You sent me pictures once per week from Fenway drinking. I'm starting to think that you're just like Michael Bay and you're just recycling the same pictures over and over again. I'm going to have to double check to see if you're just sitting at home and just torturing me.
I have proof, both witness and obviously photo, that I was at those games and that I was drunk and having a grand old time.
Take a picture with a newspaper next time. I need proof of life.
Okay, I'll do. You know what? I'll do the score next time because, you may as well. I'll just tell you now. I'm going to be at the game this Sunday.
Of course,
one of the last games of the season, and it's up against the Yanks. at this point, it doesn't matter. It's, we're in the playoffs, won a division, and so on. But yeah, I'll be at Fenway again on a crisp fall day. Day drinking, by the way.
What do you mean?
Which is what you and I did that time, and it was amazing.
Some sports guys I don't get. What do you mean we? Are you out there? Or did you throw 200 innings this year? Were you a bench coach? Like, what do you mean we? You sat there and watched there and yelled helpful things like run faster. Like, there is no we, all right?
And then they listen. No, not only that. I also terrorized the other team. I'm part of this. Because I'm helping. I'm mentally psyching people out on the other side to help the Red Sox.
Yeah, okay. I guess there's a place for hecklers in hell.
Wow, coming from an A's fan, no less.
Hey,
are you guys in the playoffs? Do you guys still remember how to play baseball over there?
Yeah, we just don't have actually, we're using Bob's backyard now because our field has been usurped by football player men. And
to be fair, no, you guys are in the playoffs, aren't you? I know you're in the wild card race.
The A's are in the playoffs. I'm not a consultant, I'm not an owner, and I'm not a player. So the A's are in the playoffs. No,
but you're a fan, and you occasionally buy their gear, and maybe you watch them on TV.
All truths. Yes,
all truth. All truth.
Let's jump.
All right. Let's go back. Let's jump into the first topic. To our 4 loyal listeners, future Jeff, future Francis, you're one of them. If you remember last week, we were going to forego the 20-second download unless it warranted one, meaning that there was so much to say about something that we wanted to torture the other person and give them only 20 seconds to kind of react. We have that today for Jeff. It's a big one. He's got so many things to say about it. We're going to see what happens in 20 seconds. Jeff, are you ready for your for the Neo 20-second download that we're only carting out from time to time?
I'm all set.
Okay. Jeff, why are mesothelioma lawyers paying $226.50 per click for the keyword mesothelioma cancer lawyer? Go.
Oh, it just puts me in the red. It's because they're making a goddamned killing off of people with cancer. That's why they're paying that much money for it. They're not ranking for it organically, and they know if they're paying over $200 per click, then they're making thousands and thousands from people that have cancer.
There you go. That's it. 20 seconds. How red is your face right now?
I'm furious.
Yeah.
People just, well, obviously, you can draw a straight line to their intentions. This is very, very clear. Okay. If they are paying that much money per click, that means they're making an absolute killing off of anybody that comes to the website.
So let's start from the beginning. Why do people pay for keyword phrases? And then how does this $226.50 fare in the average realm of paying for such things? So let's start from the beginning just to give some background.
Yeah, to be fair, let's explain a little bit about why you'd pay for a keyword. Typically, you want to pay for a keyword so you can get in the top of search engine result page results. Did I just double that? Search engine page results?
You did, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yes, that's how mad you are. Your brain just can't handle it. That's why you got to bring it. Just get the foundation down. We'll get there. Your rant will come out. Let's just start with the background.
Let's back it up. You get the first page of results. All of the ads come up at the top. Depending on what you search, like if you search car insurance, you're going to see nothing but ads. Below that, you see all of the organic results. Now, if you aren't able to rank for a keyword organically, for whatever reason, your website's not strong enough, you don't have strong enough content, whatever the reason might be, you may opt for paying for keywords, which is where Google will put your keywords on top of the organic search results, enhancing the likelihood of a click-through. Stuff on the top of the page gets more clicks than stuff on the bottom of the page. It's just very simple psychology behind it. It's proven. So if you can't rank organically for a keyword, then you can pay for it. And now paying for it involves an auction system. So basically you bid how much you want to pay for a keyword. Now, if there's a ton of competition out there, like if you just go search car insurance right now. You search that, you're going to see that it's just absolutely littered with tons and tons of ads. And that's because they know they can make money off of people that click on those results.
So just to kind of give people an idea, I just did that, and it's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious when you see the ones that are, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that you see, Geico ad, Progressive ad, Google is pretty specific and realistic as to like, this is, by the way, this is paid for. Am I correct?
Yeah, they're highlighted and it says paid, I believe, at the top.
It doesn't say paid. It just says ad and then the URL next to it.
Life insurance. Oh, it does. Okay. Well, it's becoming harder and harder to tell. These actually used to be highlighted yellow. Okay. Now it just says ad.
Really?
I mean, Google's they're in the business of making money. This is how they make a ton of their money, especially at expensive keywords. Getting back to a point that I was making, when you're in an auction system, you're going to bid against other people. And when it's a very lucrative type of term, then it's going to get more and more expensive. So this is the case of mesothelioma lawyers. So if they are bidding up that high, that means, that should tell you that that is a very, very highly valuable keyword to a lot of lawyers that are trying to rank for that keyword. So they're paying a ton for it. Another example here in this actually comes from an article that you sent me from Media Post. Another one is drug and alcohol rehab. That's $52 per click. Inpatient drug rehab is $44.62. An alcohol detox program, $44.33. They are making an absolute killing off of people with addictions. And why is this all healthcare? Why is it all healthcare related stuff where people are just deciding they're going to make an absolute killing off people? That's what frustrates me.
I mean, to answer that, I mean, it's because it's the vulnerable state. It's when people search those terms at their most direst, you know, or at least some of these terms, not all these terms, but it's when, you know, they need that second, third, fourth, whatever chance it might be. And I think that's why, man. I'm not trying to defend it or anything. It's just saying I think that's what's happening. You ask why are people, you know, whatever. That's probably what's going on. What's part of it. It's insane to me. The auction. I mean, the fact that you're talking about drug and alcohol rehab, $52.11 per click. But the phrase I threw at you, 226. I mean, that seems well out of the ballpark, well out of the realm of where it should be, right? It's well above average in terms of what someone would be paying for a keyword or keyword phrase.
Yeah, it is. If you look at the averages across the board, you're going to see it completely depends on your industry. But from what I've seen, expensive would be $40, $50 a click. That's really, really expensive. I've seen upwards of around like $115 a click, and that's for HR related terms. So like applicant tracking systems, stuff like that. That's really expensive. And the reason why is because people that are searching a phrase like that, like they're super bottom of funnel. I mean, they're shopping. They're very, very clearly shopping. Which is the same thing as somebody searching mesothelioma cancer lawyer. Obviously, they are looking for a lawyer. They are looking for help. While on one hand, I'm a full free market guy. I think the market corrects itself, and I think people they're bidding against each other, so they're paying a fair price dictated by the market. However, this is people that have cancer and need help, right? And they're clearly just like a pack of wolves just fighting over each other to get these people because they know they're making a killing off them. So I feel like I sound like a total bleeding heart anti-establishment, anti-capitalist, which I am not. This just seems, I'm thinking from the heart here. This just seems absolutely wrong, doesn't it? Is there something about it? It's just off. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you throw cancer in the mix of anything, it's always going to feel icky for lack of a better term. But you're right. The idea, I mean, going back to the fact that you are about data, the fact that, you know, search engine optimization and people are searching for the answer, for the right answer, and we're supposed to optimize certain sites to make sure that has this that right answer. This kind of flies right in the face of it. Now, granted, it is part of Google's, you know, whatever, but even beyond that, there's a reason why, you know, it's over $200 for this keyword phrase. It's working.
Yeah.
People are clicking on it. There's a reason. I mean, you're referencing it already, man. It's a highly lucrative one because they know how much money is in that game. And they're using, in a weird way, search to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the tug and pull between, you reference this from time to time with Google and about, how search functions, advertising, how they make their money. Even, and I kind of said this in an email before to you yesterday, but the Dragonfly and what they may or may not be doing with the alleged search engine for China. I mean, what is all this? How is this all getting wrapped up? What does it mean? How is it going to affect our lives? I don't know. I think that's why it feels a little icky, because you go up against, it's like data and like capitalism in a weird way merging even harder, and that can be hard to kind of keep up with, I guess.
And for anybody interested, the least expensive keywords related to, we were just talking about alcohol abuse, anything related to substance abuse was fentanyl abuse at 26 cents per click and cannabis abuse at 27 cents per click, which is also very interesting because I've never heard of anybody having cannabis abuse. However, if they do have it, I guess there's not a market for it. So those few of you out there, sorry, your affliction does not pay.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, we should tell our buddies about that before it's too late.
We don't have buddies. We are each other.
Clearly, buddies. You're alone on Saturdays hiking by yourself, and I just hang out at Fenway Park.
Yeah, I'll tweet at my favorite podcast hosts, like I usually do. I never get a response.
Okay, so wait, before we kind of put this to bed, you've ranted about this. What is the final thing here, man? We know how you feel about it, but it is part of this world, right? It's part of the search world we're dealing with. Yeah, I mean, you said it. This represents a system that is working. Technically, the bidding system, the auctioning system, the free market is working. Whether or not it makes sense, or if it's morally, ethically responsible to be bidding on people that have cancer, is a completely different conversation. And again, we've referenced this before. Google doctoring search results. Do we want them to do that on their own? Do we want them to unilaterally say you can't bid on people with cancer, just as they got into hot water for unilaterally or accused of unilaterally saying you can't have Holocaust denial articles pop up to the top of search results when we know it's false. Mm-hmm. So this is more of a moral ethical dilemma than it is whether or not this is a working system. So where I stand on that is firmly in the middle. I'm just completely straddled. I'm angry on one hand. On the other hand, I've got my beliefs that this is following a free working system. So very frustrating. I guess the one last thing I'll say, and maybe this can kind of at least end on a positive or a less negative note, is the answer likely is answering that answer correctly. Getting the content out there that makes sense, making sure people understand, the understanding of what this is, when they might need a lawyer. What does it mean to look for a lawyer for this cancer? I mean, why? We said all the way, I keep referencing this, but back to episode 1 when I said that you were the problem and the fact that people have to understand this industry better or more, so that content marketing isn't kind of like a shrug that people give you in the elevator when you're starting to talk about what you do. The more people understand how this works, I think the better off it has. And I think the same thing is true here. It's less about like, well, what shows up versus the type of content that's out there that can help people understand. And I think that in many ways, that's what you and I aim to do day in and day out. That's right. And if people need mesothelioma lawyers, they should be able to find them. So my solution is not get rid of those search results. My gripe is making a shitload of money off of people that have mesothelioma. Just feels wrong. All right. Well, let's end it there and let's move on. Second topic. And I guess we should have said this in the beginning. We're likely only going to hit 2 topics because we spent some time just talking about ourselves in the beginning, about episode 10, how cool it feels. So only doing 2 topics. Second one, we don't have a 20-second download for this. I'm just going to bring it up. I'm going to start jabbering away. Elon Musk. The thing here is he is doing everything perfectly wrong. Jeff, here are your notes. Sells flamethrowers, smokes pot on Joe Rogan, launches a Tesla into space with a mannequin named Spaceman. Digging holes in LA.
Starman.
Tesla vehicles.
Sorry. Starman.
Starman. Oh, sorry. Not Spaceman. Starman. These are your notes, man.
Yeah, I know.
These are your. That makes more sense, honestly. I was actually going to ask about that first. But anyway, all right. You brought this up. Talk about Musk. Dive in there, man.
So this guy's always interested me, and he probably fascinates a lot of people for the same exact reason, that he does things like no other CEO or company owner does. If you look at most CEOs, company owners, they are very, very tight knit. They keep a very neutral tone, very, very sterile, right? Like safe and sterile and sane. And it keeps all the investors very, very happy because he's not going to do anything crazy or outlandish. Meanwhile, you've got Elon Musk, who is not a typical business dude. He's really not. Like, this guy he's an engineer by trade. So it's like a modern day Nikola Tesla, basically. Brilliant. And he just does things that he thinks are right. And he also does things that he thinks are cool, like selling flamethrowers. It's like, hey, it would be cool to sell a flamethrower. So he sold flamethrowers. The Tesla.
Which I can't wait for the story or the book or the movie of being like, hey, you know what I got lying around? I got enough stuff to make a flamethrower. Let's just put that together. I'm not getting to the car. We're not on Mars yet, but let's at least sell. And you know what? You totally could have bought one, but they were gone in like, what, an hour and a half?
Completely gone. And his tweet said, you should not buy this flamethrower. Don't buy it. Do you remember that? Sure enough.
I do.
What did everybody do? Give me a flamethrower now.
You know what? I should have done this. I should look on YouTube to see who has actually been using the flamethrower in some sort of regular thing, or is it just on the wall? Like, where are these things? Are they just part of like home security? And God help anyone who tries to break into a home with like some sort of like Musk flamethrower. Like, whoa, watch out for that house, man.
Yeah, it gives you flashbacks of Home Alone 2 with Marv trying to get in and blowing up his hair and jumping into a toilet kind of thing. But it's things like that where people connect with him and say, hey, this is just a regular dude, man. This guy is, and another point on that, his Tesla. Did you know that thing is just filled with Easter eggs? Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I was actually going to ask about that. What does that mean exactly? I know what an Easter egg is, but what do you mean it's filled with Easter eggs? If
you do a certain button combination, the whole dashboard and heads-up display, it turns into Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. The whole thing. It turns into Rainbow Road theme. Yeah. If you listen to the interview with him on Joe Rogan, he also says that you can make the Tesla dance. If you do a certain combination of things, the car will actually dance. I think it'll put on music or something, and I'm sure there's videos that you can find of it. But that's just like one of many. And apparently he said his engineers said, hey, it would be kind of cool if we can make this car dance. And Elon's like, yeah, man, it would be. Let's do it.
Was he saying this on Joe Rogan before or after the weed?
Before. Okay, we really didn't even get into the weed yet either. So
all right, to be fair, let's be honest. You listened to the whole, what was it, 2 hours, 2.5 hours podcast?
Long form content. Yeah. We talked about that last time.
I haven't. I've read the news stories. I've seen the pictures. I admittedly have not listened to this. I will be honest. It's on my queue now, and I will attempt to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast on the way home. To be fair, I just can't listen to anything like long or watch anything long in general. Like with movies, if I see it's 2.5 hours long, I really need a big reason to want to watch that movie. But I will give this a shot. You have claimed that it's engaging and that it's fantastic, and so I will listen to it, but I haven't listened to this one.
It's worth the time. I think the guy is he may possibly be an alien. He's just so brilliant. He just seems like an angel sent down to do things differently. Anyways, he's going through, he's talking about AI, and that's going to grab you immediately because he talks about AI for a good 45 minutes or so. There's really interesting conversations. He's got some excellent insights that you probably haven't read or thought about before. And then we get, maybe 2 hours into it, and Joe Rogan, and they've been drinking like a whiskey the entire time. And Joe Rogan just pulls out this blunt and he said, hey, Elon, you ever smoked before? And Elon's like, what is that? Oh, well, it's basically marijuana wrapped in a tobacco leaf. And Elon says, oh yeah, like I might have done it like once, which is exactly what somebody says who's never done any of that before. Oh yeah, what? No, you say a few times.
I did it one time. It was nothing.
Yeah,
it was
right.
Totally fine.
Yeah, he's never done it before. And he smokes with Joe Rogan, and all of a sudden his demeanor changes, and he starts saying things like, "Man, we need to work on like world love, and love is the answer, and that's the key. We're all focusing on the wrong things." And
wait. Like immediately, like let's break this down. And now I kind of want to listen to it just to kind of see exactly how quick this is. But does he take a puff and then suddenly love starts kind of like spewing out of his mouth?
No.
Or is there like a...
He didn't have enough THC on board yet to get into the full love guy.
I was going to say, man, it's not immediate. I've heard it's not immediate, Jeff.
No,
it doesn't happen that fast.
Minutes. So you have 40 minutes of Elon's first inhale through the end of the show.
Okay.
And it progresses to Bob Marley Love Fest towards the end.
To be fair, you made it sound like it was like an immediate thing that... Anyway, that it was like in a pill form or something.
Yeah,
not
my intention. But he smokes pot. He smokes pot on Joe Rogan. Changes his entire mind frames of thinking. Maybe we should be doing stuff for humanity, and which is interesting because like, who's the guy? He's the guy that's going to create the stuff. He's the guy, the engineer that's going to say we can make this. Like he's the guy that has the potential to make that. He hasn't. We don't have the car yet, man. I know, like I know a bunch of people who actually put that down payment for the car, and I think it's 2-3 years off target. Like everyone's still waiting. They're actually selling their spots now because they don't have the car yet. It's not about the money, With him, it's about doing things that he thinks are either cool or right. Like he's really big on creating these cars because of the sustainable factor. But
where's the car? We got the flamethrower. We need the car, man. Even the Segway guy gave us the Segway eventually. It's all over the place. We got the Segway tours. I watched them as they go up and down the streets in Boston. I wonder, do you feel as dorky as you look? Because it looks bad. And I've been on the Segway. I know how it looks and feels.
Do you have pictures?
They're a lot of fun.
Audience?
You know what? I wish I did. I actually took a Segway through a drive-through one time, and I had to explain that it was a legit vehicle, that I was not walking, and that I had anyway. Yeah. There's a picture of me somewhere. I don't know where now, but I'll try to find it. But where's the car? That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of hype for this. Right now, he's an engineer, great salesman. He's engaging. I'll give him that. But where's the car? Probably
programming Atari into it or Space Invaders or something, man. Thing kind of takes time. But yeah, if you think about it, if you want a guy, if he's really truthful about this stuff and he really cares about the sustainability factor and he's a brilliant engineer as he is, who else do you want aiming? The guy is like, his mind is a rocket. Like if our minds are rockets, we're like little bottle rockets or firecrackers. And he's this giant space station getting launched. If you point it in the right direction, it's going to do some serious damage or it's going to do some serious good. So, what direction is he going to point it in? His investors freaked out because he's smoking pot on Joe Rogan and talking about love and not talking about selling shit. So his investors freaked out and the stock price dropped like 9%, the worst it had done all year because all these people are scared about what he's going to do. But I think he's the kind of guy that we want, as long as he's pointing his whatever he is, his flamethrower,
pointing his flamethrower
in the right direction,
at the right target.
Harnessing that in the right direction. I think he's the right guy for the job. I just think it's interesting how he's doing so well because of this character mystique, because he's so different the way he does stuff. At
a point, that mystique can fade, though. Like it is. I agree. It is great. He seems very brilliant. A lot of great ideas. He's definitely pushing humanity towards something greater, asking us to be better than what we are. There is something to be said about spreading yourself way too thin. I mean, he's got a flamethrower. He's going to space. He's got a car. Who knows what else he's doing? I think there was something about roads too, like just making the roads better in the country or something like that. But you got to pick one, man. Make our life better at some point. I don't want to hear the ideas anymore. I want to be in the flying car. I want the flamethrower in the back of the car for security or whatever it might be. And I want to be,
Starman?
you know, doing donuts in space around Mars. I want all this stuff. But when is it going to happen? This is turning into like the flying car thing. When are we going to have the flying cars? When is this Tesla going to be here?
Hey, I told you to tell me what you want, what you really, really want, and I finally got it out of you. You want to be spinning donuts with Spaceman with a flamethrower attached to your Tesla. Who
doesn't want that? I dare you. Let's put a survey out there. Get a Google form, throw it out there to our 4 listeners, and let's see the response rate of what they want based on that description. Also, I want an animation showing me what I would look like in the Tesla with the flamethrower doing donuts in space.
So our video team listens to this.
I want that so bad right now.
Our video team listens to this, and our writing team listens to this. So video team, we would like a GIF of a Tesla spinning around space with Starman with a flamethrower shooting out the back. And we would also like a poll on how many writing team. We would like to set up a poll in the show notes on how many people also want this.
I love how you're ordering this like you're ordering food. I'm gonna have a side of animation, and I want that to be also with some words sprinkled on top. Not too much though. You don't want too many words there, but just sprinkle them on top.
I'm paying everybody in McAllen.
Can I pay by Bitcoin?
I'm paying everybody in McAllen. Ooh, by the way, I went to a whiskey bar this last weekend, and I had it's like a double barrel aged Macallan 12. It was really, really nice.
Wow. Double aged, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was really good. Had some good scotches.
This reminds me of our other dream. We talked about dreams since episode 1 of having the Scotch episode where we don't completely musk it, but we at least drink Scotch and allow our brains to open up. Who knows what'll spew out of there? Maybe it won't be love. Maybe it'll just be more about Scotch. Who knows? Or baseball. Or lack thereof.
I think as long as we record this thing after technical work hours, we could musk it. we could musk it. We can musk this podcast.
Did we just turn him into a verb? We should totally just do that.
Totally
now.
musk
just
it.
Leave him as a verb. It has to be in person. That was the rule. We'd have to find a way to make, because right now, I'm in Boston, you're in Mars or whatever. And we have to make sure we're in the same place, because it doesn't make sense to do. No one likes drinking with their friend, via phone. That's not a thing I want to ever be a part of. You
can put it on the webcams if you want.
Doesn't feel right. No, we're not doing that. All right. Anyway, we're veering all over the place. Either way, it's a great episode 10. If we go back to finding a way to connect all this, going back to the idea of the animation and like the words, I mean, that's just great. Reusing the content you have, making sure that it's getting out there in different forms, just so people can understand how much we want all this technology from Elon Musk, and we want it now. I like how we're going to say this like he might actually listen. I can't wait to get the cease and desist letter from him next week. How dare you, the both of you, on your podcast.
Hey, maybe we can invite him on, and we'll actually get some listeners, and we'll do a proper Musk of this podcast.
You know what? Once a month, we should do a call out to Elon Musk to join the podcast and just see how long it takes.
All right, Elon, this is your first call out. We gave you lots of compliments. Maybe next episode we'll talk about the big hole you dug in the ground in LA to put tubes in.
Sure.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll keep we'll try to entice you.
Let's do that. Yeah, we'll bring the wacky tobacco with us, and we'll go for round 2. It'll all be wonderful. That pretty much wraps it up for Above the Fold episode 10.
Next time maybe next time we talk about a little bit more marketing.
Maybe we don't have to. I mean, we could, but who knows, man? We're in undiscovered country now. We hit episode 10. We're in double digits. Anything can happen. I will say one of the dreams that hopefully will come true in the next episode is a guest, potentially 3 people on the podcast.
Oh my god!
I don't know how it's gonna change things.
Good.
Maybe for the worse, but we'll find out together as always. If anyone has any, compliments, criticisms, ideas, if you want to challenge Elon Musk to some sort of, debauchery or interview, be sure to hit us up at abovethefold@brafton.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Brafton Pod. Is it _pod or just Brafton Pod? I honestly now don't remember.
Still Brafton Pod. It's been there for about 7 weeks.
Okay, still Brafton. All right, perfect. So at Brafton Pod on Twitter. Or you can find Jeff Baker at Baker Rhythms. And Jeff, tell us how to spell Baker Rhythms.
BAKER_RITHMS.
So cool that it's spelled wrong. So cool, man. You're the coolest. Baker Rhythms on the Twitter.
Very hipster, isn't it?
Thank you, everyone, for listening. All 4 of you, Future Jeff, Future Francis. High five to you guys both. And until next time, everyone, take care.
See ya.